Welcome everyone. My name is Mari Pigini, and I am the cohort advisor for this program. And to my right, in your left, is Dr. Mara Pigini, program director. And I will let her introduce herself and then continue with your session.
So I'm Margot Filipenko, the Director of Early Childhood Education here at UBC. Totally delighted that you're interested in our online MEd program in early childhood education. It's an area of growth at the moment. We're totally thrilled that our BC government has decided to head towards universal childcare. So this is the perfect time to be becoming a leader in early childhood education. And I'd like to welcome you to our information session. And hopefully we'll see you in September. So welcome, and I'll hand you back over to Mari to introduce you to our program.
Thank you, Margot. Such a delight that you could stop here today and introduce yourself to everyone, because then they know, who else is in this wonderful program. Here today with us is also Yvette Karube. She's a senior program assistant with a professional development and community engagement who they coordinate our program. And Yvette is going to have a presentation that she start very, very soon about the administratives and logistics and all the steps to that you want to know for the application. And then I will also continue with information about the program, its contents, where to go with this program, and any questions that you may have right now. I want to thank our wonderful team at Educational Technology Services, Diane Linkletter and Amanda Punch, who are here also behind the scenes by making sure this works as much as possible with internet connection and everything else. But it's important for you to know that we have this type of here to carry on our program. I would really like to know, before we continue, which it will be in 1 second, who else is there? And we saw Bronwyn a little bit before. Can you tell us who you are and where you are? And you need to unmute your mic if you have it on mute, by the way. Hello? Oops.
I'm Bronwyn Jacobs. I am a South African working in China.
Yes. She's gone. In South Africa, I'm working in China. Your voice is muting. Your sound is going, so I don't know if it's an internet connection. Can you hear us well? Yes. Okay. So I hope it's not the internet here that is freezing for her. And Bronwyn, thank you for persisting. We had a bit of a mix up with the hours.
How much you really want to know?
Well, right now it's good to get started with where you are and just a quick round, and then as we proceed in the session, we'll find out more about everyone, because we want to make sure that you get all the content, and many of you have to run for school or run to bed. In your case, I know you have woken up 2 or 3 times to get into the session because of the mix-up with the hours. So thank you. Thank you. Yes, we will go back. Yeah, we're here. Thank you. Oops. Yes. And I saw a name, Preston, before. Is there someone? Is that, no, Bronwyn is here, and who else is here from the group? Preston? Hi. Hello. Oh, I think we're losing people. There's something. Is there a way to use cable?
Connection or disorders. First off.
But people are going. I don't know. Well,
they might have turned off their webcam.
Okay. Okay. No, they weren't on webcam. It was just a sound. I just want to do a quick check-in to see if you. Let's see on the chat and I can see on the chat. If you can text me if you're still there and if you're listening. Let me just see. The volume is low right now here. Low. Because we don't want to start a session and then people are no.
Thank you for your us.
Yes, I did a send hello to see. Can you see that message on the chat box? Usually we have people responding right
Yeah.
away.
We
Yes,
do have the
do.
chat open and there are people.
Okay, okay. So can you show me what I really?
They can't hear
Can you
you.
hear us when
Okay.
we talk like this?
Hi, Preston. We can hear you
Okay.
now. Yes.
Okay,
Hi.
you can hear us?
Pardon me?
You can hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Fantastic. And where are you at right now?
I live in Saskatchewan.
In Saskatchewan. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us.
Yeah.
Is there someone? Pardon me?
Yep, nope, that's it.
That's it. That's it for now. We'll do more very soon. Oh, here I can see now. Will this info session be posted online to listen to later? Yes. I'm having trouble with my microphone, but I'm Caitlin, and I'm from Southern Ontario, Belleville specifically. Nice to meet everyone. Nice to meet you, Caitlin. I'm Sheena, and I'm in St. John's, Newfoundland. Thank you, Sheena, for being here. Having issues with microphone says Jessica as well, but I'm Jessica from Kelowna. Nice to meet you all, and I'm Kathy from Edmonton. Nice to meet you all. So fantastic. Now I can see the messages. And there is
Hello.
Charlie.
Hi. I'm Charlie. I teach in Surrey.
You teach in Surrey, so you are the closest person right now, except
Yes.
for us.
So far.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hello.
There's Ashley.
Hi. My name's Ashley. I teach grade 2 in the North Vancouver School District.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome. So North Vancouver, Surrey, Newfoundland, Kelowna, Saskatchewan, and Ontario we have, and China. Anybody else? I think this is it, because then if we count ourselves, I would give a total of 12. And there's, Bronwyn is still here. And Bronwyn, yes, Bronwyn Jacob, South African, teaching in Chengdu, China. And Laura from Colombia, Laura. Can say that. I speak Spanish too. And so welcome everyone. Did I miss anyone? I think we are good. So without further ado, because the clock is ticking, you're welcome, Laura. Here is Yvette Karube. You're going to see her slides. You may not see her face, but she does exist. And she is, Yvette is going to provide us the information, as I said before, about how to apply basically and what the program entails in a more administrative way. So,
did you want to give a little general introduction to the program, Mari?
I did a little bit of something before, yes,
Okay.
and then I'm going to do all my parts
Okay.
together. Yes.
So welcome everyone. I'm glad that you could join us this afternoon, depending on where you are for this information session. This is for the Master of Education in Early Childhood Education. It is online and a part-time program, and it starts September 2019. My role is to provide administrative support for the cohort students, and I will be the one looking at your applications and seeing if you've submitted your documents. As well as once you're in the program, I'm the person who will register you in your core or required courses. So any administrative questions would come to me. For anything academic, that would go to Dr. Mari Pagini. And this is a 30 credit program. So what we're looking for is the is a 4-year undergraduate degree with an average of B+ or 76% at UBC in all senior level courses, which are 300 level and above. If your GPA does not meet this criteria, the admissions committee could write a special case rationale on your behalf to the Faculty of Graduate Postdoctoral Studies to recommend you to the program. We're looking for, well, this is what I suggest, is that you order 2 official transcripts from all post-secondary institutions you've attended, with the exception of UBC, because I have access to your records. And 1 transcript you can open and upload it to your application front and back in a single file. The reason why I need the back of your transcript is because it gives me the value to any letter grades that you may have, or percentages and different codes that institutions use that I need to calculate your GPA. As well as I suggest that you keep the other one sealed, because then if you get into the program, that sealed transcript will go to the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies. Applicants that have participated in exchange programs in their undergraduate degrees must provide transcripts from those institutions. Again, I suggest you order 2 transcripts from those schools as well. Now, applicants whose degree is in an unrelated field like arts, commerce, general studies may be accepted if they have completed a college or university certificate in early childhood education, and you must have completed at least 18 credits in early childhood education. Do you want to speak to that, Mari?
Yes, I received a question from someone who is interested in applying, and they have a bachelor's in general education, and they were concerned that that would not be related, but the education would be a related area. So as long as you have the number of credits needed for a 4-year undergraduate degree, then let us tell you, if this is unrelated or related. Don't think that you all need to have an ECE certificate. This is only if you come from arts, commerce, science, a program that doesn't have these. So the credits in early childhood in undergraduate need to be 300 or 400 level. So if you have a certification that you took earlier on in early childhood education, and they are at 100 or 200 level courses, so ECE 100 something, and you would have to put it forward or forth for your application. This may not count if you come from an unrelated area. If you're applying as an early childhood education, that's part of all your application process. So yeah, write to me if you have any questions, or to Yvette around this, and in looking at your individual case, we may direct you to the right answer for that. Yeah.
We're also looking for a 500-word statement of intent that includes your professional goals. Do you want to speak to that, Mari?
Yes, it's this is so you have your curriculum, and then you have your intent, and then you have your topic, and Yvette will talk about that. So you want to explain why is it that you are applying to this program, and what do you hope in achieving? How does this program enriches your current career or future career if you're not working in this at this moment? And very succinct. The 500 word would be the max. Although if there is a couple of words extra, it's not going to be dismissed. So it's pretty much standard to all applications these days. Yes.
We're also looking for a 500-word description of a topic in an area of early childhood education that you wish to study in depth, like play or outdoor education, social justice, children with special needs,
Yes, and this is very important because then it tells us when you're going to be completing your electives or as you prepare for your e-portfolio capstone project, then how, as an advisor, I can guide students and I can support them also with the other instructors to always channel your interest towards this area, these areas, or a specific area. So you may find throughout the program that you shift, a little bit on what you originally said, and that is okay. But it is important for us if you have like a passion, like someone has just written a bit ago about, their passion in nature education, for example, and would we have courses about it? Well, maybe we don't have a specific online course, but we will support you in seeing, and I'll talk about this later on, of related courses that could work for your topic of interest.
We're also looking for one sample of academic or professional writing, such as a term paper or substantial scholarly paper that must be cited and that should be on an early childhood topic.
Yeah, and we also expand on this a little bit because some students say, my papers are very old. I completed school many years ago. I don't really have like a current paper. So in that case, we provide you with options. And you will see those on the website. We have several topics to choose, and then you can write a new paper with some guidelines that we provide there. So it could be an older paper that you have, and preferably not older than 5 years. But if this is the case, then we invite you, or if you don't have any paper that you say, I don't have anything related to early childhood. And we use APA citation style, but if you have used for the application purposes, if you have used any other citation style, as long as it is consistent, it will be okay.
And just so you know, there's 2 articles that you can look at on the program website under, I believe, the admissions tab that you could write about.
Exactly. So those are the alternative, topics, and then you can connect with that. I just want to say that I noticed that there's someone else I didn't acknowledge. Wendy. Hello, Wendy. I think I just saw you there, and I don't know if there's someone before. So sorry. Go ahead, Ina. Okay.
We're also looking for a resume that includes your education, your work, employment history, volunteer work, and other related experience. If you have publications, blogs, newsletters, website, is there anything else, Mari?
No, it's just a standard resume, but you make sure that all of these items are there. And for the resume, we do like to see a bit of everything, and also your interest and your passion, right? So.
We're looking for 3 references, 1 academic and 2 professional references. And they should speak to your engagement with early childhood education or a related field. Your professional references should be from people who have supervised you. As well as, now do you want to speak to the 1 academic reference?
Yes, sometimes students, applicants write to us that they have not been able to locate an academic reference because they have lost contact with whoever member of the faculty could have given this reference. First of all, I want to say that I get requests for references weekly, and even people that I haven't seen in years, and it's people think that this is a favor, but it's actually part of what we do, right? When you have had a student, and if you're ready to write a reference for the student, then you do it. I mean, this is not a favor, but you need to give your referees time. At least 2 weeks. I ask between 2 and 4 weeks because depending on the load that I have, get a reference that is solid, you need time. At the same time, if you have left school many years ago and you cannot locate or the person is no longer available, we also accept a third professional reference of someone who can speak to your quality in writing, in expressing your ideas, in sustaining an argument, because that's what we look from the academic reference. Someone who speaks to your quality in your as a student and in your academic writing and the way you present your ideas. So just keep this in, keep this in mind, in your mind. Yes.
So the references should be submitted through the e-reference system that we have, which means part of the application, we'll ask you, or it will ask you for the reference's name, their title, where they work. And then when you submit your application, this e-reference goes out to them. They could use the existing form, or they can upload their own letter, and instructions are provided to them. Now, say your referee does not work any longer, they're a retired professor, they could also send me a hard copy. As long as they sign the seal on the flap of the envelope. And the reason why we ask for the signature on the flap of the envelope is because the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies will receive it and they consider that valid.
That's correct.
And we're also looking for a minimum of 2 years professional experience working with young children in appropriate settings such as daycare, preschool, summer camps, counseling children, but it must be paid work.
Yeah, paid work. Yeah.
And related fields include child and youth care, nursing, psychology, social work, and family studies. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, there's also someone who has worked in a before or after school program, or even like a family program in a neighborhood house, but they're working with children. So all of these will count, but it has to be paid work. On your CV, we do want to see that, if you have done volunteer work, this is very important. But as their professional experience record, we need to know that you have actually worked with where you have been supervised in a professional paid position.
I'm just going to briefly cover the English language proficiency standards at UBC. Applicants from a university outside of Canada in which English is not the primary language of instruction must provide results of English language proficiency examination as part of their applications. Tests must have been taken within the last 24 months at the time of submission of your application. If this applies to you, please contact me.
And it could be the TOEFL or the IELTS, either of the two. Yes.
Now I'm just going to do a recap about the online application. So you're going to go to grad.ubc.ca/apply/online. This link can also be found on the program website under Apply Now. And it's not open yet. It will be available to you November the 1st. As well as when you upload your transcripts, please upload them front and back in a single file. Now, some people will have an unofficial transcript. That's fine, you can upload it, but it typically does not have the values of your grades, your letter grades or percentages. So if you could find that on the website, you type in your university and look up grade scale and then include that as part of your transcript upload, that would be appreciated. Or if you have an older transcript and you have not attended school since you graduated, that is good as well. Trying to think of anything else here. As well as you're going to upload your statement of intent, your resume, degree certificates, and English language assessment report if it applies to you. And again, if you're admitted, we need, or the Faculty of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies will require an official transcript from you, but that is further down the road, so I'm not going to go into it too much here.
Yes.
So the application will be available on November 1st, and it will close January 31st, 2019. and that includes all of your supporting documents. Now, we'll say that transcripts take a while to come in, so order your transcripts early, as well as get a hold of your referees early, because they can take a while before all of your documents are in, and then,
Yes. Yeah, I was just going to say that sometimes we have found that someone begins the application and they have, like 2/3 of their requirements or something like that, and then even you can see that they're working on it, and come, January 31st, they're missing, let's say, a document. So of course, if we can see that, if you're in contact and let us know, listen, we're just missing this one document, it's not that only these shots and that's it for you, but you need to let Yvette know, because otherwise we need to close your case for your application.
now the application fee is $104 for domestic applicants.
Okay.
That means if you're a Canadian citizen. And if you're an international applicant, which means you're not a permanent resident of Canada, you're not a Canadian citizen, then it would be $168.25 Canadian. Now, the degree cost is currently $14,844 and change Canadian, and that includes domestic as well as international applicants. And there will be student fees that are added on top of that. Now, the reason why I say currently is because typically the university raises its fees 2% in the springtime, so that will change a bit, as well as the installment, which is currently at $18.55 and change Canadian, and you pay in installments, and there's 8 installments for this program, so the program ends up being about 2.5 years. And the payments are typically January, May, and September. You will be paying a whole program fee, not assessed as a per credit fee. Now, you're not paying the $14,844 at the start. You're paying the $18.55 plus student fees, which are about $400 per term, but that too varies. And there's a couple of opt-out options for those of you who live outside of the Vancouver Lower Mainland, one of which is the medical dental plan, which I guess any one of you could opt out of, which is currently at $244.69 per year, as well as the Compass card, which is $164 per term. In terms of the Compass card, you cannot be living in the Vancouver Lower Mainland if you want exemption from that cost. And if you want exemption from that cost, you'll have to apply for it each term of the program.
And sorry, may I just, I remember that students always ask about the medical and dental, so they would have to let you or whoever it is in charge know that they're opting out. There is an opt-out if they live away for the medical and dental.
If they live, there's a website that you go to called studentcare.something.
Okay.
And then you would opt out there.
They will receive instructions for that. Okay.
And also, when I was covering the application process, no documents should be coming to me in terms of transcripts, statements of intent, resume. All that you will be uploading to your application. The odd reference that if you have a referee that wants to mail me a reference, that's fine. I cannot accept anything by email or by phone. So please let your referees know that it's either a hard copy or they're using the e-reference. Teacher education certificates. This applies to teachers in the Vancouver Lower Mainland who have taken on teachers in their classrooms. If you have colleagues that have these certificates, you may want to ask them if they're using them, because this could be a savings on your tuition. But for more details about that, please contact the Teacher Education Office at teacher.ed@ubc.ca for more information. And that's it for me. Does anyone have any questions?
So the floor is open now for questions for Yvette. I will continue with my part soon after, but Yvette will leave the presentation. So this is a good time to ask Yvette any questions. And I'm going to be reading here the chat. I don't see anything right now, except, you know, from the last message from Laura from Colombia, and says, thank you, that's my last chat. I was going to say, Yvette, is there a mailing address that will be on the online application if someone needs this transcript mailed?
I believe it's on the program website.
The program website.
If it is not on the program website, just contact me and I'll send it to you.
There's Preston.
Yeah, even that little blurb that you were saying there about the teacher education,
Mhm.
something about teacher education.
Certificates?
It was, I can say what you were talking about.
I couldn't make out your question.
I think if they have had practicum students,
Yeah.
right, as student teachers in your classroom, that provides the student with that provides you as an applicant with some sort of credit for their tuition, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you
okay. So I have
yes.
I have an intern actually this year, so that I should
Yeah.
look into that
Excellent.
then.
yeah, so make
Okay.
sure that you
So where do I-
contact. Yes.
So
Are you
contact
eligible?
teacher education.
Teacher.ed@ubc.ca.
Okay, teacher.ed@ubc.ca.
Yes.
The website
Okay,
that you
awesome.
see on the slide right there, sorry, the email on the slide. Yes.
Or you can contact Rod Brown. He's in charge of the elementary teachers. And his number is 604-822-5243. Either way works.
Okay.
Yeah, because probably they would forward that email to him. Ashley says, hi, I'm wondering if previously taken courses can be used as elective credits. I'm currently in the Teacher Librarianship Certificate Program. I will address that, Ashley, in my presentation very soon. And we'll go over it. And then Bronwyn says, I'll be liaising with my university in South Africa, Rhodes University. I understand you said no emails. As I'm working in China and not physically able to travel to South Africa, should there be a challenge? Can my documents be couriered to your office from Grahamstown, South Africa? So because I think there is the whole application is online, so they can email you or mail you what you need, right, Bronwyn? And then you upload it from China, and you upload it in your application online site. But when we ask for referees, that when I am asked to be a referee, they send me a link. I click on it and then I upload my reference. So that wouldn't be a challenge for anybody being in South Africa or any place on the world. In the world, if this is your concern. So if you say, so you know, the professor could be, you can be my referee. Here is a link. They get to their computer, to their email, they click there, and then they write the letter or upload it as a Word document, and it's in. So you don't worry about that, because it's taken care so that people all over the world can use this, right? Did I interpret your question? I don't know if Yvette has something else to say. Bronwyn says, I don't think obtaining the referees will be a challenge. It's more the transcripts from my previous degree.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you need to send them, and because they can't be sent to China or it'll take too long and then sent to me, just send it to me directly. I can send you my address, and as long as they're sealed and they're in English, I think
South Africa
and
Rhodes University.
yeah.
Can one of the referees be a faculty advisor? You mean a faculty advisor, meaning when you did your student practicum, the teacher? Okay, so if the faculty advisor is a member of the faculty, let's say at the university where you did your teaching degrees at UBC, SFU, or UVic or whatever, yes. If it is a teaching advisor who is like a colleague, it could be if it was in a supervisory position to you, but not for the academic reference, I would say. I had this question before because the faculty advisor is yeah, depending on the role that they had. I have completed my early years diploma 5 years ago from UBC. I have completed 30 credits. How many credits can I apply to the Masters of Education degree? Well, depending on, that would be depending on your undergraduate degree, right?
Yeah, the GPA calculation's done on your undergraduate degree, not on a diploma or certificate.
Yes, except that they want to see that you have related coursework. Yes. So you put them all, put them all because it will be important for you to have this, and then they will see depending on the way that your undergraduate degree went and how many other credits do you need. And what was your undergraduate degree on? As an early childhood or courses, Edu 300 and Education 300 and 400. Also those EDUC or because EDUC are from the teacher education. No, wouldn't they be ECED 400 and ECED? It's safe if you put them on. So just put them, use them all for your application. If something is not used, then we can talk about the electives, like the other question that came from, let's see, from, oh, I missed someone, from Ashley. And I see that Caitlin says, I'm in a unique position and graduated with an HBA. What is an Bachelor of HBA? I don't know what it is, if you can tell me, in psychology, and gave birth to special needs twins shortly thereafter, 2 weeks later. Oh my goodness. So I was not able to work and only have professional experience running my home-based daycare for 3 years, which means I have no supervisory references for work. Can I use reference from the parents of the children I care for? I think someone was in a situation like this a while ago. Would you be able to get references from licensing officers or someone related? I think, or is there like a board? So these are individual cases that perhaps today I will not address with more time. I'm just brainstorming, but write to me and write to Yvette and to me, and then I'll find out for you. But I think this situation came before, and it was finding out like a reference from like one of the licensing care officers or from a board member. That person had like a board member in their program. It was a similar, not identical situation. And then
you could also use 2 academic references.
Exactly, 2 academic references.
And then have
yes.
the 1 professional if that's going to be a challenge.
Exactly, yes. Because at 3 years, with your own program, that we would need like a, how do you say, like a certification or one way to prove that, yes, this daycare existed and you were teaching in there. So I'm sure there will be a way to, that it can be done. And Caitlin says, okay, thank you. I was unlicensed because we were up north in Thunder Bay where it wasn't required. Don't give up. This could be one of those special cases with a rationale, and just put your application and we'll see how it goes there. And for Wendy, Education 300 and Education 400 courses, yes, we did say to put them, to put her diploma there, because that will strengthen your application if you have 30 degrees of diploma courses. Okay. Okay, so anything else, or may I continue with my section?
I have a question.
Yes.
Hi, I just wanted to know like what the timeline was of hearing back about our applications after we turn them in for January, how long it usually takes, and then also how many people are typically in the online cohort.
Perfect. So how many months between January and?
I'd say at least 8 weeks.
Yes. Usually by April, by end of March, end of March, mid-April, people know. So yeah, so February, March, because you have the deadline is January 31st. Then there's always a last minute, I forgot this, I forgot that. And then we have an advisory committee. So neither Yvette or neither Yvette nor I go over the applications because we have had contact with you over and over. So it has to be like a more blinded process. So we have an advisory committee from our Center for Early Childhood Education and Research and Early Childhood Programs, and they're all faculty here. So they will need at least 8 weeks, for maybe a bit less than 8 weeks, but then Yvette has to put all of those, comments back or whatever, the approval, and then get back to you. So allow until end of March,
I would
beginning
say April.
April, yes, I would say April. Yeah, to get a response, April, and then we have to see the calendar there with, there is the April long weekend and all of that. So usually this is the time where it comes. Sometimes people ask, can they get ahead and do something else? So I can respond to that too when I do my presentation, because some people say, really, I really want to not lose time and not wait so long. So I have ideas that have worked for others in the past. And how many people? So we have a minimum of 13 and we have a maximum of 25. So generally the cohorts are around 16, 17 people in average. And
Thank
we
you.
This is the 9th cohort we're running. Yes.
I have a couple of other comments, and one is if you have a UBC ID, please use that for your application. Do not create another application ID, because then it gets very complicated on the administrative end. So if you have a UBC ID, please use that for your application. As well as if you have a 3-year undergraduate degree, please don't be discouraged. It does fall under a special case, but it will be reviewed by the admissions committee. It's not something that's dire. Many people have 3-year undergraduate degrees. It's just one of those things. As well,
we can only do how many special cases?
As well, when you put your name on the application, like say you attended UBC and you had a maiden name. Some of you may, I don't know if some of you are going to use the maiden name or the married name, but that can also cause confusion on our end. So if you have any difficulties with that, please contact me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's administrative issues because of the application form, and but if you are a UBC graduate or have attended UBC, please use that ID.
Very, very important, because then everything gets merged.
Yeah.
Yes. And special cases, as I was going to say, if we have many special cases, we need to select, I think up to 4 has been in the past, something like that.
It really varies.
It varies every year, but usually there's not too many special cases, and I would invite people to apply, and I will talk about alternatives also to get started. Yes, because it has worked in the past. Yes. So anything else? We don't want to rush it for you because this is the time to have the questions that you may need. Did I answer all the text on the chat? I think I answered everything, but if I haven't, O'Brown says, thank you for your patience and kindness so far. Your prompt responses have been most comforting. Thank you. And I look forward to my liaison with you and the team going forward. I have to leave for work now. I wish one and all a good evening and a restful week ahead. Regards, Bronwyn Jacobs from Chengdu, China. Thank you, Bronwyn. I'm going to be talking about something else, so make sure that you come back to the recorded session. Yes.
The recorded session will be posted on the program website under the info session tab.
Yes. Make sure that you take a look. But don't go, because now the next part is about to begin. Thank you so much, Yvette. Have a wonderful evening. And
Thank you.
Yvette, thank you to everyone. I know it's just bear with us for a second. Amanda. Okay. So here we are. I'm going to have the tablet here just to make sure that I can follow up with messages and this here. So can everybody see the screen where it says it changed a bit with the slides information session, and it has my name, and it has also Margot Filipenko's name, our director. And I'm here ready to take notes. I'm just going to take that note about courses, extra courses. Let's see, extra courses. So please remind me if I forget to address that. Okay. So I wanted to start with, what is it that brings you to an online master's in early childhood education? And next, how to make it happen, and to close in with questions and follow-ups. So would anybody like to share, what is it that it was motivating for them or getting them enthusiastic to do this? And any reasons are valid, and this is not a screening session. So if you would like to share that, it's always very interesting to know, what brought you. So if anybody wants to do that, please, I would love to hear. Anybody brave? And you can type on the chat as well. Oh. See? So can they use emojis to say yes, no? First of all, I just want to make sure that everybody is hearing, and I think they are, right? You can see that everybody's hearing, that the internet is still working, the connection, everything looks good. Yep, so perfect. Okay, so I am just gonna go ahead, and feel free to interrupt me if you would like to, okay? So I can see that some of you are, in smaller settings, closer to Canada, farther away, with different backgrounds already. So it's always this motivation, right, to expand your knowledge and to do something different that brings you to the program. So as Yvette said, the program will begin September next year, and it will run until April 2022. Which is unbelievable to think. And it's basically a 2.5-year program, which adds to an equivalent of 2 years of 3 terms, and then 1 year of 2 terms, academic terms, just for you to have an idea. At UBC, the terms go from September to December, January to April, and then we have the summer program. We also have 4 courses in the summer program between May and August. And then we begin again in September. It's pretty intense. This is a professional master's program. We really want students to tackle current issues in early childhood research and theory, and connect them with their practices, and make sure that these are linked to your own
professional and community interest. So as a professional master's program, we don't have a master's thesis. However, to graduate, students need to complete an e-portfolio capstone project, in which we, of course, work with you. It becomes like a whole course at the end for you to put together your e-portfolio. And once you get accepted, I will elaborate more on this. But if you have on it, someone else, some other questions, I'm happy to address them. The program was designed to support you as professionals to widen your horizons. And we have professionals coming from many types of background in early childhood education. So although at the beginning, I think, in our first extension or distance education program, they were all, or 90% were early childhood teachers in primary schools. We only had two preschool teachers. The program has now expanded to have primary teachers, preschool teachers or daycare teachers. We have had nurses, social workers. We have had counselors. A variety of or someone with an EC training but working with NGOs or at the government level. Okay, so it's very broad, and so it's very rich in discussion and communication. We, as you see, not everybody may come from education. We have had even people coming from, for example, social work or even nursing or higher education, and then sort of coming to early childhood education. So it is a professional master's program for this reason, and we really want you to get the best and the most current information for you, so that you keep abreast in your line of work. Ours is a cohort-based program, and Yvette talked about this. Cohort means that you basically, the idea is that you begin together and end together, although things may happen along the way, and someone may need to stop, and then leaves of absence are a possibility, right? If this happens, and then come back the next year with another course. If this happens, of course, we follow up immediately. So there is a pre-established sequence, and I'm going to go over it, but you can always see that link that we have there, pdce.edu.ca/med-ece. And I'm going to go over the courses right away, but maybe you are wanting to see right away. It's a part-time program, so you take one core course at a time, with the exception of when you take your electives, which you may need to take 2 courses per term. And when you finish your online portfolio, one of the terms that you take to complete that, you're also taking a core course. But then you have a full term that is free, dedicated to finish your e-portfolio. I wanted to add here a quote from one of our very recent graduates, who was very far away in Abu Dhabi, as a matter of fact. So, and I have permission from her to read her quote. So she says, "This was an online program, but it proved to me that I can learn so much from it and from the ones I'm interacting with, even if I never met them in person." And this is huge, because she's like many hours away, like Bronwyn was, in China, or some people in Europe, and we have a student in Africa right now. So it is important that you realize that we try to create this community of learning and community of practice, so that the online doesn't mean that you are on your own or alone. The courses are multidisciplinary, and because we want to really reach out to the different aspects of early childhood education. And these courses were actually written and designed especially for these master's programs. And because we have been teaching these courses now for a little bit, courses are under revision. So we keep revising them with academic and peer review revision.
So the departments that teach and cross-teach in our early childhood programs include language and literacy in education, our own early childhood education programs, ECPS, which is Educational Counseling, Psychology, and Special Education, and EDUC, which is Education, and I believe Wendy was mentioning before that she has a couple of courses from there. In fact, the first course that we take, that we offer, which is Research Methods, come from EDUC, which is from the Faculty of Education per se. Just elaborating on what Yvette mentioned, you do need 30 credits. Each course is worth 3 credits, okay? And so you have 8 core courses and 2 electives, and we will talk about how to go about electives right away. And once you finish all of those courses, and ideally within this time frame, then you're ready to apply for graduation. The electives are selected from a pool of approved courses at UBC, and there's a link where you can see what electives are possible. And there's other options. As I say, I will talk about it very soon, but I want to go to the degree because a degree is a Master's of Education, MEd, which is different from an MA, which has a thesis, right? So this is MEd in Early Childhood Education. And I want to stress that the degree, when you have your degree confirms, at the Chance Center, or you maybe not, maybe you are not able to come to UBC sadly to receive your degree, but whoever is the president of UBC, Dr. Santaono is the president right now, confers that the certificate, it does not read online. It's identical to the on-campus Masters of Early Childhood Education. They are parallel programs. They have same requirements for admissions and the same number of credits for completion. Now, when you apply, please be very careful. I think Yvette is going to be very grateful if I say this. Please be very careful that you select the online application, online program option. Because if you select on campus, it goes to another pool, right, of people reviewing your application, and it goes to another administration of the program. Our online program, even if it's the same department and everything, we require like a special team to support us. So it's not automatic that you can transfer from the online or to on campus or on campus to online. You need to reapply. So I'm saying that because if you apply and you're interested in the online master's program, make sure that you take online. Okay, very, very, very important. I'm just gonna pause for a second. Does anybody have a question? I've talked a lot, and you may have something like right ahead coming to your mind. And I will elaborate on more of the course. I don't see anything on the chat. And Amanda, you can confirm that everybody's still there? Yes, on call? Yes, thank you. I'm just pausing for a second, and I'm just gonna take a sip of water myself. Okay, remember you can interrupt me anytime. Many people ask, what are my opportunities when I graduate? And I want to say that what this graduate of a few years back wrote to me, and I'm in contact with her. We have actually presented together at a conference. You will see at the end as well. She says, thanks to this program, I got my ideal job. Got a leadership position within her school district that is a very coveted position, and this is in another province, and she's super happy about this because it really allows you to advance to senior administrative, professional, consultation, or program coordination roles, or if you're already in one of those roles, to ensure that you remain there and that you gain even more credibility and advance in your leadership capacity, because more and more organizations are requiring for their professionals to advance in this capacity. Some people are interested in teaching, and so yes, you can teach in post-secondary institutions or keep teaching. Like I know one of our students, has been teaching in a post-secondary institution in another province for a long time, but now they're requiring that they complete their graduate degree. So yes, she has been teaching already, but now she needs this degree to continue, sustaining her position. And we have several students and graduates who teach in post-secondary institutions across the country. At UBC, we have several of the electives that you may take are now taught by those who were you at one point, or if you're going to apply and be accepted, so one of you. So it really opens, the opportunities for teaching if you like this in a higher or post-secondary education. For the British Columbia teachers, if you are an elementary teacher, you apply to the TQS service for a salary advance. It's very nice. You go up a category, I believe it's 5 and 6. For elementary education teachers. If you are in another province or in another place, you need to check with your corresponding agency, what is it that you obtain in terms of salary or any benefits in your teaching courses selection when you complete a master's degree. So it's very encouraging, and I know for a fact that this works. So what I did is to give you a little bit of an overview of the courses that you will be taking. So if you want to apply and get in the program next winter from September to December, you begin with me as both your cohort advisor and instructor for the research methods in education. It's one of the 2 core building blocks, we call them courses, right? You have this course, and then in January, right, you have a review of research in early childhood education. Now, every master's every master's program in the Faculty of Education has these 2 core building block courses. You have to have your methods, and you have to have your review of research. However, these 2 courses have been written specifically and created with an early childhood focus and lens. So it's very attractive this way because it puts everything into context. So last year, Dr. Marlene Asling taught this course. Another time, Dr. Marianne McTavish, who is now the director of the Teacher Education Office, has taught this course. Dr. Iris Berger teaches this course on campus. So we have a pool of faculty who will be, teaching these courses. Then in the summer, which is from May to August, you have early childhood education development, intervention, and inclusion in early childhood education. I mentioned before that this is a multidisciplinary program, and so we want to have topics that are attractive for students in the many different areas that early childhood encompasses, and one of them would be attending to the needs of those children who need a little bit different in terms of teaching or early intervention approach. Because remember, we do cover from birth to age 8 or 9, right? Our early childhood range is quite wide. We move to year 2, and it's a beautiful course being taught right now. It's advanced seminar on research in early childhood education, sociocultural perspectives on early childhood education. And this is with Dr. Iris Berger is teaching it right now. It's a very light course, and it opens again I don't know, it opens your window of understanding about where do you come from in many of the theories that sustain your teaching practices or your working practices with children. Then we move on to literacy. And this January, Dr. Jim Anderson here at UBC is going to be teaching it. It's theory and research in early literacy. And even if it's early literacy, we do attend to the notion of multiple literacies, and also attending to what is emergent literacy even in the very early years, as we know now with the current research. Then in the second summer, which will be your last summer, you have a course that is centered on social and emotional learning.
This is a big, big, big interest, big topic in our program, and the course is supporting your children's social emotional development in early childhood education. Dr. Veronica Smith has been taught it for a few years. Angela Jaramillo, who is residing in Colombia at this time, but she has been based at UBC, has been the person who created the course and then has worked it out with Veronica Smith. Finally, we walk to the last year, which is 2 terms only. You begin in September with the advanced seminar on research in early childhood education, leadership and policy in early childhood education. Now, the notion of leadership and advocacy is huge for us. This course touches on issues of also social justice, but also in understanding that leadership in early childhood education is really much more than coordinating and managing a program. Is bringing the leaders in each one of the students who are the graduate students who are professional and already a leader in their own right, in their own profession. But it's really tapping into that area that many times is not explored or even acknowledged. This term, so the first term, and you have time for a second term, you're involved already in your capstone project, which is the e-portfolio. Now we do start working, and I expand on this in the orientation session for those who apply and then enter the program. We do start working from the beginning of our program in how to create, how to think about your e-portfolio. But these 2 terms are basically putting it all together and getting it ready, because we do like online presentations of the capstone projects. So this will end in winter 2021 and 22. And yes, this is a very quick description. As I say, I expand more during my orientation session, but I wanted you to have an idea. I want to go to the elective courses and make sure that I also respond to the queries below before. So the elective courses are offered online, and you see the schedule in this link that I have provided, and you scroll down to elective criteria and requirements. If you are nearby and you would like to be on campus, you could do a couple of things. You could take advantage of the summer institutes that are 1 to 2 weeks and that are worth 3 credits as well. They are intense courses. And many students who are in our online program, and let's say I have students, this year I had students from Ontario, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, and Northern BC who came to our summer institute. It was gardening pedagogies. And they were taking the course with the course around early childhood, special needs and early intervention, because that was online. So they could do during the day. It just took 1 week, but it was, morning and afternoon, including 2 Saturdays. And they completed their course, and they were fascinated. And it was great for me. I got to be like with 5 students, and that was amazing. We have up to 5 placements for graduate students in that summer institute. So that's one. And there are other summer institutes offered as well from other departments, or they may come for a graduate student on campus at any time if it fits their term. Maybe their schedule changed that year and they can come here on campus, and you also need to consult with me about that. I'm just gonna add about this other part, and then I'm gonna go back to the electives. And I need a drink of water, and anybody wants to jump in, please let me know. Okay. There is a way that where you may transfer credits from previously taken courses. For example, let's say that, Wendy, you mentioned about your 30 credits in the diploma. Let's say that you don't need all those 30 credits when you are applying, right? That you don't need to put your diploma courses as a diploma, because you have enough with your undergraduate degree, a 4-year undergraduate degree, and your years of experience. You have a strong GPA, right? And you don't need to put forward those credits. I'm not going to jump ahead and say you don't need, but I'm just saying that, you know, a scenario where you don't need. Or let's say that you took a couple of other courses. It has to be within the 5-year period. If it's more than 5 years by the time you apply, then they don't count anymore, sadly. But let's say you have extra courses and you don't need to put them forward to your application, then you can save them, check with me and see, you know, I need to obtain more information about the courses, what they need to be percentage based, 300 or 400 level. Percentage based means that it's not pass or fail, and they need to be related to early childhood or to the program somehow. And then you may apply to transfer the credits, and that would be through GP+S, and which is Graduate Programs and Services. They will be the ones to determine, yes, indeed, you don't need to take electives, you only need to complete 26 core credits, and no, I'm not saying this right, 24 core credits, and the other 6 credits, 3 + 3, you're getting them credited. That would be great if that happens for you. The other way is that you may find that during the program, you find a course in another university that is close to where you live, and then you can actually attend to that university and take a course that you really like. And here is a quote from a student who is with us right now. And she says she took this course during the summer, and I really encouraged her to do it. She was very appreciative. She says, art course this summer, the art course at the University of wherever she attended, was amazing. I was surprised and really appreciated how I was able to apply this course to my own learning through art, because she wants to apply art work when working with children. So the course gave her 2 bonuses. One, the content that she was really wanting to have, and the other one is to attend an on-campus course during the summer at a university very close to where she lives. So a note on payments as well that I don't want to forget. First of all, if you take a credit in a course in another university with the Western Dean's Agreement that you have to apply, and this is later on, you don't pay that university. UBC honors the agreement between these universities that are signatory. So you just pay UBC your installment, and that university, they know about this, of course, they will accept you in the course, and they consider that you are paid. So it's really neat, because you don't need to pay extra for any other course. But this is for afterwards, and I just bring it here because sometimes people have questions. One way to get ahead in the program, if I have had some students say, but I want to start right away, what should I do? I said, well, you could take any of the online credits courses that we offer in the meantime, and then save them for your electives. Advantage that once you get to the elective time, you don't have to take it, so you only take one course at a core course. Disadvantage that you will have to pay for it as a per credit. So you will have to pay for the credit, but the credits, right, as a regular course, but the advantage is that you don't have to take it later on. So it depends on what you want and the type of timeline that you are experiencing. You may also take electives that are not early childhood education and that are already offered online, but you need my approval And sometimes if it's a little bit of a situation that is a bit of a gray area, I consulted with Dr. Filipenko, whom you met at the beginning. So those courses are in adult education. There's some, some of our students are teaching already in colleges and colleges especially. And so they have required to take, to take a course. Not they are required, but they are interested in learning more about adult teaching and how to apply it for their own teaching in early childhood. Counseling psychology, I just replied an email to a student today. May I take this course? I'm really interested in counseling and coaching and vocational counseling, and I said go for it. Early childhood education is most of our courses. EPSI is educational psychology and special ed. It has a lot about early childhood special needs and intervention, some about brain development as well. There may be some psych courses, but I haven't seen any of them offered right now online. Home economics, I have never had someone taking a home economics education course, but I do not, how do you say, question the possibility that it could happen. Language and literacy, I have many students. Some of the language and literacy courses actually are quite amazing, and they also mix in art and digital literacies, and it's very interesting. And library, a teacher librarianship. And I think this was a question coming from, let me just go back, that there was a question from the teacher. Yes, Ashley. So yes, Ashley, if you have courses that you don't put forth to your application, send them to, and you're accepted, then send them to me to see if they would count as elective. Because if they sort of connect with your program, and because I also go to your letter of intent afterwards, and I see what you have, your rationale and everything. If they're not pass or fail, if they're credit based 300 or 400, and they are within 5 years from a certified university, then chances are that they could be considered. Okay. So I'm going to stop for a second. We're very close to ending our session. I want to see if there's any questions here. Nothing here. And does anybody want to ask something? Is everything clear so far? I see that 2 more people have left. It's getting late. Okay, so I wanted to talk about our commitment, right? I wanted to say that this master's is the product and the results really of the coordination and collaboration of many people in different units. So we have the early childhood programs. You met our director, Dr. Margot Filipenko. We have a graduate academic advisor who belongs to the Office of Research and Education. Her name is Dr. Teresa Dobson. And we also have a graduate academic assistant. Her name is Vicky Domansky. If there's any specific questions that relates to grades or for international students, Yvette usually consults with Vicky Domansky for these, right? So we as instructor and I as a cohort advisor and instructor in that dual role, we work very much together. That academic follow-up during your program, including transcripts sent later on for Western Dean's Agreement, or you took an elective elsewhere, or you're putting an elective forth for your program. It's all in conjunction with the graduate academic assistant, Vicky Domansky, who works very close to Yvette Karube, who you met today. And although you didn't see her, you did meet her because she was doing the presentation and with me. If we have any other question, we go, of course, to Dr. Margot Filipenko. And if there's a higher decision, even for a leave of absence, let's say that you start and you need to take a time off, right? It could be up to 1 year, 2 terms, right? If you need that, we help you process through Vicky Domansky and the graduate academic advisor. The graduate academic advisor is the one who approves your final project and says the yes to the graduation. Very important person. In terms of the online logistics and administrative support, we're blessed with the coordination from professional development, community engagement. You met Yvette today, but there's others in that office as well. And the educational technology team, ETS, and today we have Amanda Punch here supporting us, and we also had Ian Linkletter. I'm just going to have a sip of water. Apologies. I don't know if anybody had this cold that is going around here in DC, but I had it last week and it was awful and still. Sorry about that. Don't like coughing on the mic. I wanted to note that when people apply to an online master's, you do need to make sure that you have the necessary requirements so that this can be a successful experience. So you do need at least high-speed internet. Not everywhere has Wi-Fi, even if people cannot believe this, but there is cable internet. It's not that it doesn't work, but my students who have had cable have really experienced a hardship downloading, the materials they need to read, because you have access to the online library, right? That is there for you, and it's all free for you, right? And so that takes time. Or the discussion, communication. All the courses include discussions with other students. They are not synchronous. You don't need to be there all at the same time. Most of you are on different time zones, but you need to respond at your own time, right? And if you have very, very poor internet, it can be a difficulty. For some programs, I believe for Canvas, do we also need the Java platform still? Do you know? We used to need it for Connect. I don't know if they. But for some archives that you may download, you may need Java. So you need to know all of these things. The quick start video to open, that your computer supports opening a video. That's very important. And especially when we do the collaborate sessions. So once you get accepted, our sessions are not through BlueJeans like today. We have our own platform, which is Canvas. And within it, we have something called Collaborate Ultra, and we communicate through them. Again, I record the sessions always because not everybody's on the same time zone. The application process, I'm not going to go over it again because Yvette went over it. So, and I think I have everything exactly like she had. I may have changed something that it's, no, I think I have everything the same. And the names are there, and the international students are there. So I don't repeat this because Yvette already had it. I always add it just in case someone has a last minute question about this. So I wanted to end with more quotes from students. On someone who was in year one, and not was, but is, it says, and I have asked all my students for permission. I enjoy learning from the reading speeches of the profs and the writings of my classmates and getting to know my classmates from across the country. I also relish stretching myself in ways unimaginable to achieve this goal of earning an MD. So this student wrote this when she was in year one last year. Now she's in year two. But this person that I'm just going to read is currently in year one. The group discussion plays a crucial role in the whole cohort program, and it's a wonderful way for us to understand each other's perspective. I break people in small groups, and then they can rotate groups. And again, you do it on your own time. Everything gets like saved for the time. Sometimes they do agree on a time to meet the small groups, and that's on their own time. I have one student right now. I have two students in China, and I have a student right now in Europe. And I know that sometimes they said, "Oh, today I had to wake up early, but I didn't want to miss the mini group discussion." But that's not all the time. In year two, The student says, I find I have changed areas of interest throughout this program. Each course inspires me, and this is very interesting. At times, it's funny because students, for example, the students who started with the nature education, and that was her passion, but now finding out that she wants to add, a thread about social and emotional learning, and of course they go together. So her portfolio is going to be richer this way. And I just say, just keep saving all your assignments and put them in the e-portfolio folder that we have on Canvas. So when the time comes, you can create your narrative for your e-portfolio. In year 3, so student graduating, this program has been a wonderful experience and has verified the importance of time management and colleague support. I enjoy learning from the readings, teachings of the profs, and the writings. This is this quote. I made a mistake. I need to edit that. So the quote ends where it says support, and the rest is from the first year student. And for some reason, when I was doing the quote, I made a mistake. Only now, after seeing it 10 times, editing, and revising, I realized that I recopied it again. So the student said, about time management and colleague support. Finally, I wanted to read a quote from the student who I also quoted before, the one who got her ideal position. So she attended a conference and presented, and we met there. Not as a student, she had gone there once as a student. This time she went as a presenter. I found my inner advocate. I know that the conference will be rejuvenated in this respect, but I'm even more excited to reconnect with our ECE cohort, and she also wanted to reconnect with me. So I felt very, very honored about that. So not only she has her dream position now, but feels very confident about always presenting. Having said that, next year we have the Spark graduating conference, graduate student conference. So if anybody wants to attend, you don't have to be a graduate student to attend. Graduate students are presenting. I will have our graduate academic student assistant, Aria Vericat, to send that information or to post it on our website, because it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. So many opportunities. We look forward to following up with you. We have all the information there for myself and for Yvette. Yvette will provide also, and the website has it, her mailing address if anybody needs to mail something, like I think Bronwyn had mentioned before. And it's 5:30 on the dot as promised. But I would like to know if anybody has comments or questions before we say bye. And if not, it's been a lovely, lovely evening. And I would like to know more of you who stayed on the call, but maybe you have to run as well, so I don't blame you. We're still recording for a little bit more, just in case there are questions. If I missed something, please let me know. This is the time.
Hi.
Hi, Ashley.
I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm really excited to apply and hopefully get in. And it sounds amazing, the whole experience.
That is wonderful, Ashley. Thank you. Really good feedback. Are you interested in learning about the Sparks conference next year?
I am, yes.
Okay, so we'll make sure that we post it on the website. Thank you so much. And do you have any other question, comments, or time to run? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Ashley.